Hi guys, it's a beautiful day once again and welcome back to Dexter's World channel. Well, in the last video that we had, we made fun out of the good harvest of this Japanese koi and goldfish right there at the mud pond. And we were too busy then, and we were actually surprised because I thought we can only make small harvest out of this Japanese koi and this goldfish. But what I thought was wrong, because we were able to harvest plenty of this fish, and these fish right now are in good shape and condition. They are now ready to be transported to other places, to our customers just within the peninsula. Oh, this is an emergency! Whew. And I'm so glad because this system is working good for us. From the mud pond, we're gonna put them in the conditioning tank, and from the conditioning tank, that's the time that we're gonna transfer them or transport them to our customers and be ready to be sold in the market. And some of this fish will be sold at the pet store. But then, our concentration for today's video is all about the harvest of our kids. Yes, today I was told that we're gonna harvest at least 50 of these kittens, these very small and cute rabbits. And I would like to add something more about the information that I gave you in our last video about the rabbits. Well, in our last video, I mentioned about the consistency in all aspects. We have to be consistent in the giving of food and also in the giving of the kind of food. What I mean is the brand that we are using. We cannot just shift from one brand to another because we have to be consistent in all aspects. And we also mentioned about the cleanliness, which is very important. And also, we mentioned about the importance of drying up all these grasses because we cannot just give them the fresh water spinach or any kind of grass because that is not good for their health. And also, we mentioned about giving pellet. And let me add something more. It's all about the selection of breeders. Yes, you heard it right. Because the selection of good breeders plays a very important role insofar as breeding massively this kind of animals. Yes, we have to be able to produce massively in order for us to have a good business out of this rabbitry. We have to compute the feed conversion. If you are giving feeds to them, which is amounting to 3,000 pesos, then we expect to harvest more than its equivalent. Maybe we can harvest at around 5,000 to 6,000 pesos just to be able to be sure that we can gain out of this business. And one very important factor is the kind of rabbits that we have. The number one thing to consider is that our rabbits should have good temperament. And you will know that through their parents. Because there are rabbits that will really tend to eat their babies. At the slightest provocation, they will immediately eat the babies because they are actually panic about what's going on around, and they have the tendency to protect. And in their minds, they are doing an act of protection by eating their babies. And this is actually not good. So we have to be very keen enough to select the kind of temperament that our rabbits have. When I started this rabbitry, I was really downhearted witnessing some of the does eating their babies. I made a study on this, and it has something to do with inheritance. Those rabbits that are being taken care of by good mothers will likely soon to become good parents also. And those kids that have been produced by one mother will likely to become a very good producer of kids also in the near future. So like take for example this one. This doe produced some 6 kids. So in the selection of breeders, we have to consider all the kids that are here. They are likely to produce also plenty if they're gonna be made breeders. And per experiment that I have done, I can conclude that the system, like the feeding and all this stuff, are just one of the factors to consider. it is really very important also to consider the kind of breed, the kind of temperament that our rabbits have. And another thing that I have experienced is that there are rabbits that refuse to nurse their babies. Though they have so many kids, they can produce plenty of kids or plenty of babies, but at the slightest provocation, though they are not eating their babies, but they refuse to nurse their babies. And that's one indication that we don't have to select the kids that are born out of that kind of parent, because most likely when they become breeders, they will also do the same. But of course, there are certain factors that would push them to do so. But then if you already have tried all the precautions and still this doe refuse to nurse the babies, that's a good indication that you won't select as breeders the babies that produced by this kind of doe, by this kind of mother. So what we will do is we have to cull them. We have to exclude them in the selection process for us to be able to have good production of this kind of animals. So now you will witness how many kids we're gonna harvest just today. Well, as I have told you earlier, we can harvest more than 50 kids. And I would like to ask the assistance of Ryan. Ryan will do the harvest. Of course, I cannot bend anymore because I have a slip disc after we made a harvest of this Japanese koi right there at the pond. I slid 2 times, I told you, and my back is really aching. So Ryan will do the harvest and we will see that we can harvest plenty of these kids. So you know that our method is allowing the does to dig and bury their kids, and then after 2 or 3 weeks, that's the time that they will appear from the ground. That's the time also that we can consider harvesting them. So we will begin now the harvest. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here we have 6. And if you will ask me, are they good to be selected for future breeders? Yes, I believe so, because there are 6 of them and they were actually been taken care of by the parents. So they receive the kind of care that they deserve. When they become mothers, most likely they are also very good at nursing their babies. So we have 6 here. What about the other pen? So guys, we have another 6 kids right here, and all of them have no issues about their skin. They're so healthy, they're so clean. So they were raised by a good mother, and they are candidate for our future breeders. If we wanted to maintain the good temperament of our rabbits, meaning the kind of rabbits that we're gonna make as breeders, we have to be extra keen, we have to be extra observant in the selection of our breeders. So we will put a cover on this, and we have already 12 kids right here. And allow me also to share something about the importance of the incense. Well, in this rabbitry, I have so many rituals to drive away mosquitoes, because these mosquitoes are bringing disease to our rabbits. So every afternoon, we have to fumigate some incense to drive away these viruses brought about by these mosquitoes. And that's what we are doing regularly. And let me share with you this kind of practice, because this is also very effective. So guys, all in all, we have 60 beautiful kits, and they have no issues on their skin. They are so blameless, and they are really good for petting purposes. And another tip that I may give you if you are going to select good breeders is the fact that those that are detaching their fur during the delivery of the babies are the ones that are good mothers. When they are going to detach their fur from their bodies and cover this to their kits, that's a good sign that these does have good breed, meaning that the temperament is good. So if you are going to select future breeders, you will be keen enough to separate all the kits that were born out of these good mothers. Because as what I have said, most likely when they grow up and they become mothers too, most likely they will become good mothers. And let me show you our selection of future breeders. They're located in the other fence, and we group them together. We just raise them on the ground because in the future we will just allow them to dig and give birth under the ground. So we will visit the coop of our future breeders, and we will see that in the next couple of months from now, we're gonna be raising much of the skits because of the number of breeders that we already have prepared for this event. Guys, I personally handpicked this doe because this was born out of a very caring mother. And there are 9 siblings of their batch, and I believe that this can be a good parent in the couple of weeks from now. This can be a good parent a few weeks from now. This is what actually I am talking about. We have to be careful in the selection of our breeders. So no issues about the skin, and the body conformation is really big, and the fit is perfect. So this is our future good breeder. I believe in the saying that if you are going to plant, you will reap. So we have really tried our best to improve our techniques and our methods in, breeding these rabbits, and all these efforts have resulted in the good harvest, such as the harvest of this 50 heads of this very cute kittens of this rabbit. And we are now going to sell this to the market. We're going to bring this to the pet store where the people can just go and buy and have their own pets of this kind of very cute animals. So this is how this business runs. So we use this cage so that these rabbits will not be overcrowded inside. And right there at the pet store, we will put them in a large cage also so that they will not get contracted with disease due to the stress. If you are going to overcrowd them in a very small space, then they will get stressed, and this will lead to contracting disease. So guys, I hope this video will enlighten you about your rabbitry, and I hope that the sharings that I made in order for us to become successful will become helpful in your desire also to have this kind of farming. So I hope you will continue to like and share our videos. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, you had just come across with this channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we are uploading videos every 5 days. And we are also promoting our second channel where we engage the people in the communities, and we will help them alleviate the poverty, the abject poverty that they are in. And we are giving some hope to these people. I hope you will also subscribe to our second channel. I hope to see you in our future videos. We're uploading videos every 5 days, only here at Dexter's World.